Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil.
Batfolk. No, please.
Help!
They'll slay us! Devour us! Monsters! Monsters!
What now, you piece of filth?
Vampire is an umbrella term for all beastly bloodsuckers. However, some species are unlikely to simply drink your blood and leave it at that. In fact, both Fledders and Garkains are more likely to splash your entrails up the walls, leaving a sad cadaver in an unrecognisable state.
Monsters! What beast are these?
They are the mad and fearless variety, the primitive and baseless creatures that are a far cry from higher vampires. There is certainly no grey area when it comes to Fledders and Garkains, as they are monsters inside and out. Considered to be lesser vampires, they display a primal and predatory nature, similar to any other common monster a witcher might raise his silver sword against. In the case of these vampires though, lesser is a bit of a misnomer, as it applies only to their lower mental capabilities and not their size or strength. As mentioned, both species can smash a body to bits, wildly flailing their limbs, fangs bared and claws ripping. The term lesser vampire can also be applied to other creatures, such as the Plumards, a swarming, vampiric flying rodent of sorts, which poses a great threat in higher numbers. There are also the Nekurats, which border the line between lesser and higher, as they are considered moderately intelligent and do not mutilate their victims like the more base variety of vampires. The qualifier is typically a susceptibility to stuns, bright lights and the burning sun, and making their homes in the dark places of the world, from sewers to cool and dry caverns. Vampires remain a complex and muddled together group, and are perhaps one of the most complex type of monsters to categorise for witcher bestiaries. But for now we turn our attention to the common Fledders and Garkains that every witcher inevitably will face down in their careers. Fledders have the vague resemblance of overgrown bats, from their elongated ears and crests to the sinewy membranes attached to their forearms and underneath their biceps. Perhaps these are the remnants of a more developed wing, as there are a variety of vampires akin to giant bats, namely flyers or kites, that are also connected to Fledders. They have been known to sleep or rest hanging upside down off a surface, exactly like a bat would. Unlike bats, they are bipedal creatures and shift their weight forwards into their prey, aiming to knock them down with brute force. They appear to be adept at leaping from nearby structures or their natural surroundings, giving them the jump on unsuspecting prey.
They'll slay us! Devour us!
One can assume they have excellent hearing, akin to many of their ilk, but perhaps are less sufficient when it comes to pure sight and other important senses. It seems they can be easily led or tricked, as they only thirst for blood and will madly dash in any direction where blood is to be spilt. Garkains, or natural-born killers, are just as ugly and grotesque. Pulsating sacs aside their heads emit waves of mental force, knocking and disorientating any in close range, making for easy pickings for a bloodthirsty beast. They have a keen sense of smell and are keen on the young blood. They have a particular thirst for adolescents and children, as their blood remains the purest and without toxins. They certainly wouldn't seek the trail of a witcher, but his blood would surely be polluted and impure. They are also a pack-orientated vampire and have been known to attack in unison. For example, in 1104 the canal city of Lan Exeter was beset by Garkains, no more than 3, all slain by Witcher Oliver of Gullet. There are alphas that exhibit an extraordinary cruelness and brutality in comparison to the other Garkains, and a modicum more intellect.
your head from my saddle, bastard.
They ooze a blood-clotting venom or toxin from their fangs, and will often kill for the sheer pleasure of it, especially if the prey is easy.
Damaged organs, arteries. Smashed against the wall. Skull cracked. Died immediately. Claw marks. Sharp hooked claws. Monster had an easy time climbing on the roof.
There is one final forgotten species, the Fleder's distant primitive ancestor, and who knows what other horrors lay hidden between worlds in conjunction. They are pure by evolutionary standards, unadapted to the living, breathing world that they find themselves placed within. They are only found in the deep places of the world, forgotten and untouched for centuries. Places such as Hen Gadath, elder speech for Old Garden, which houses the gate at the great schism between worlds, never to reopen. They likely inhabit these caverns of Toussaint as the atmosphere is akin to their own lost world, and naturally they thrive within. They are just as brutish, if not more so, with a brain the size of a bat, and the hulking mass of a true beast.
Ever fight a witcher, you piece of shit?
Two more remain till we reach the night's end, one lesser, one higher. The Ekimara, base and gruesome, and the Katakan, more human still, with a fondness for jewelry, wine, and hedonism.
You couldn't have. You would have survived.
Watch my bum. Vampires. Real life, flesh, filth and blood vampires.